G'day, how you going? Ianapolis here, your acrylic guru from Australia. Welcome to my video here. If you're new here, be sure to share, like and subscribe and check out the links in the description below. There's quite a few there to knock yourself out with. Now we're going to do something here, a bit of a water boat scene, but less is best in this one again. I like these type of paintings, they're so effective, and the less about them gives more of a knockout effect, all right? So that's what I want to try and capture, and I'll get the sizes of the canvas I'm using up there in centimetres and inches. All right, and we'll get some colours debating up the screen there like that, all right? And you can pause it and write them down and then watch the video a few times if you want to paint along with this, just to make sure you know what's happening up ahead and have fun painting with me, all right? So get on over here, we've got some brushes, we've got some paints and we've got some mediums, all right? So let's get started. Now I have down here some student paint, craft paint. It's white. It's very soft flowing bodied paint, okay? And I'll mix this up with the clear medium retarder, which would keep this paint wet longer. And it's going to allow me to blend a sky. So I just get this mixed with this 2-inch putter on a brush. This is my brush I use to put the paint on the canvas with. All right, that's why I call it the putter on a brush, to paint the sky area. Now I've got in some hills in the distance here and some mid-horizon line scenery stuff there, okay? So we want to get the sky area. Just ignore the pencil, that's just, I wanted to show you what I'm going to roughly put there. Okay, now we get this halfway done. What I could and should have done is put the masking tape there, but too late. I might do it because this other paint, when I do the water, doesn't need to have retarder in it. Alright, so I'm getting that massaged into the canvas and stroked from the left and right so it's nice and neat, without any brush marks in there, okay? You know what, I was going to do the top half first, but I'm going to do the whole lot in one go. So work out what size canvas you're using if you're following along and use accordingly the right amount of paint, or you can do half at a time. So we've got the whole canvas primed in the clear medium retarder mixed with the craft paint, okay? Now I've got some dioxine purple and cadmium yellow light, so we're going to mix those two together to get a beautiful caramel kind of brown. And I want different flavors of this, light and darker values. Get a bit more dioxine. Cadmium yellow light I find is a good tinting yellow. They get cadmium yellow mediums, but I like the light. Okay, that's pretty much the flavor I want. It's like a brown caramelly color. Okay, so I just wanted to show you how I mix that up, and I want to get some of that. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some impasto in there, which is this stuff here, because I feel I didn't add enough, and this would help add volume to that paint amount. So I want that, so I'm just going to make, it's going to add that much extra paint to that mix without losing the color values, okay? And why I know that is I asked the lady in the shop, what's that stuff do? And that's pretty much what she said. So this is going to increase the volume of that paint without changing the color of it. So see, we made one pile, and instead of running out and trying to mix the exact same tint, the impasto helped me there. Now, if you don't have impasto, just be sure to mix the right amount you're going to use for your painting. Now, I want a smaller, lighter version of this as well. That's why I had to mix up a bit more. So I'm going to put some here and put some white paint with that. So I've put some more of that craft paint there, and I want to brighten up some of that as well. And these are going to be the flavours for this painting mainly. Alright, let's put a bit more in there, over here. Alright, so there we go, boom boom. Now I've added some more paint here. I've got a mid-tone grey out of the tube. I've got raw umber and cadmium yellow light again. Now this is going to be a flavour similar to that for the sky. So let's get some of this happening. we want a very light colour here for the sky. It's going to be all this caramelly, greeny colours, weird. Okay, now I'm going to put some of the white with that to get it the tone I want. Bit more white, a bit more white, there we go. So we've got some good colours there. Now this is going to be the sky colour with some grey clouds. I need a lot more white in that actually. It's taken its time to get lighter, but we'll get there. There we go, and I'm just using a knife this time, so I'm not going to munt up the brush because I'm going to use the other brush to apply this to the canvas. Alright, now the brush isn't cleaned. I'm just going to contaminate all that paint together now. I've got it at the top. I'm going to bring it down to the water's edge there, crisscross it against the edges there. Get it in there. Beautiful colour this, it's a nice tone. I'm loving it. And we're going to do the water as well. So everything's got that craft paint with retarder in it, so it's allowing everything to be moving across the canvas wet still. It's not soaking wet, but so we've got it dark at the bottom, fading into the middle there, coming up and a bit darker at the top. That's the layout I was looking for there. Okay, I've just cleaned that brush. I'm picking up some more raw umber in the brush. Just contaminate it with some of this because I want a darker value. And I'm just putting it on here to see where the darker value is coming through from here to there. So I'm getting some more. And I'm actually loading it onto the brush as I'm mixing it. And in the water, like my horizon line's pretty much dead center. I want some white glare there. So this is going to pretty much be about here. Boom, right across. Something there like that. And it's going to taper. Get a bit more of that color that you've just mixed. And it's going to taper to the foreground like that. That's why I wanted to do the top and bottom all in one sitting, I suppose, because I knew I'm going to need to do this with all the paints. Now I want to stroke that left and right until those lines look really watery and lovely. And I'm feeling that, and I'm feeling a bit artistic, so I've just picked up a bit more, and I want to put a bit more darker there against that light. There we go. And then stroke that as well. Beautiful, Ian. Now we've got a few colours going on in this painting, but it's going to be worth it, eh? Now I'm using cerulean blue. I bought some of this the other day and I quite love the real sky colour blue in it. Also for the reflections in the water. So we want some of this lightened up with some white now. So I'm finding that value that I want with the white, which is pretty much from that into this colour. Look at that. So our horizon line's here, so I want to get this on. I'm pushing it right on. It's not perfectly straight, but it's straight enough. Okay, that's it, that's it. I'm not worried about the horizon line. I'm going to bring that together with the top half as I put it on. Now the white that I put on the board, I want to bring that between this and there. So I've just wiped that brush, I haven't washed it, and I'm getting the white on there now, and I'm loading that up into the tip of the brush. And we want to weld and join and create that blue to that browny colour there. So we'll get it on, keeping our white, and then we can sort of let it fade to those browns and that blue. And this could take a few passes, who knows, but that's our water. Beautiful. Now, I'm picking up some more white. Okay. And I just want the lightest value down here as well, if I can get it in there. Oh, yep, there we go. Push it through like that. Just the lightest value. Okay, there's our water. Very artistic Minimal but beautiful. Okay, back to these colours we mix. We got some clouds, some subtle clouds to put in the sky. So I'm going to use a fan brush and this colour here that I mixed previously. Okay. And I know I'm going to have there. So I want something minimal but lineal in the sky. So I want something coming across here, quite fat here at this side, bit fat there in body. And then coming quite lineal and thinner out here. Pick up some more paint. Alright, just like that. Build it up a bit more. Everything's still wet, so I've got time to work with this. I'll bring that right off the painting there. Boom. Boom, right off there. Now grab yourself a blending brush and we want to blend that artistically and subtly into our sky. Mainly get the bottom, but don't blend it right down here like to nothing. Just blend the bottom, keep the top looking good. Tickle the tops a little bit. Now we're going to get some of that grey, so we'll just use another brush and we want to get some grey in that now. Pick up some more on the brush. If anything, this is mainly a grey cloud, but that colour we've just put on before is help toning it. Okay, I might. And now we want to blend that grey. Where's that blending brush go? There we go. Always wipe your blending brush and blend that grey within that colour there. Softly dabbing it, stamping it, moving it. Try not to burn a hole within your cloud. And if you feel like I'm feeling, I want some more of that other colour back on top because it's just... There we go. And that's looking like the colour cloud that I wanted for this painting. I'm just going to get this brush on its edge just to lineate that out there to the left. There we go. It's looking very sky. Less is best. It's not an overclouded sky. Now just to finish the sky off, we've got a hillside here, so there's some smaller clouds. We just need to incorporate there. So I'm picking up some titanium white with a smaller fan brush. I found it. I was looking for it before and couldn't find it. There, my mountain's about here. So I want some white clouds here. I'm just grabbing the fan brush, trying to make the tops of these clouds. These are going to have a subtle amount of grey within them as well. So these are virtually going to sit the hillside that I put here onto the painting, and we'll probably stop about here. So if anything, I've made that cloud shape out of them. Now we want to blend those down. So get your turmoil within this white stuff. It's going to mix with that colour of the sky. Don't worry down here because that hillside's going to actually cover the very bottom, but the turmoil you get within these is going to create that real wow cloud look about it, you know. So lightly stamping, twisting, turmoiling, creating wow and greatness within your cloud. There we go. Now I'm going to put some grey in there as they look a bit stark and white, so we get the grey within there now. Let's do one at a time because the paint on me is slowly starting to dry. So I want to malacecoat that within the white. That's a big word, isn't it? It's one of the words I made up. Turmoilize the paint together. All right, we're doing this one now. So if anything, it's got that white halo just at the top of it. very subtle, but it's there. And when the mountain goes in front of this, or the hillside, it just adds that element of detail, but there's not much there. Less is best. I'm happy with that. That's just what I've been after. All right. All right, I've dried this middle bit. Now this water, I want to mask just there so as I can confidently paint the top over the horizon line there, okay? So I'm just going to put that on there like that. This is just a low tacking tape, nothing too sticky. And we want, I'm going to use my filbert brush, and we want those colours that we've mixed up downstairs there. This one here, I'm going to wet my brush so we get a lot of transfer. And I want this now. So I mixed all this up earlier. This was the cad yellow light and the dioxazine purple. Now we're going to just put in the hillside. So the hillside is just coming where those clouds are, okay? Get some more on your brush. Now these will be paler than the lower bit as we get there, okay? And then once I've finished painting this mountain, I can dry it to add the next colours, okay? Okay, I've done that as much as I wanted. That's pale compared to what's going to go in front. And down in front here, we've just got, I'll just wipe that out, the brush there. Actually, I'll just wash that brush quickly. And we're going to use the raw sienna dark. Okay, so that's this one here, just out of the tube. And keep your brush damp a bit so we get a good transfer rate happening from your brush to your canvas. And like I put that tape there to help me not go into the water with this. So concentrate on the top level where you want it. So we want top trees here, canopies and trees here. So we want that sort of broken, rough shape there. And if you feel your paint is not dry enough, dry it. Finish getting this along, dance it along, just get the tops of the trees there like that, and then we can block all this in. Having the tape there helps us not get it in the water and be more confident with our stroking of the brush. So I want to take the tape off. What's happening here? It went underneath. Okay, I'll fix that up. I'm going to have to fix it up for you. I didn't push it on enough, but that's okay. That's added some elements of real. Now see how that, there you go. See how that pulled the paint off? I should have. You get this folded bit right back on itself and it cuts the paint. So I've just wet my brush. That paint's probably still a bit damp. Let's hope so. And I can maybe, let's see if you can see here. Yeah, I'm working from the top with my bullshit stick, and I'll just place it back down over that white bit there. And it might need a couple of coats to fix it. And we'll do here as well. Now this can be dried, so as we can put a boat in there. Now her picture had a couple of boats in it. I'm going to put one. I'm going to replace the other boat with an element in the sky. There we go. I fixed that up. So much for the tape helping us do it confidently. I didn't put it on good enough. See, that's a procedure you can also do, is get some different tapes and tape up areas, low tack, high tack paints, and then practice peeling it off and see how it works for you. I've got a pouncer. I'll just dampen it and squash it into a towel a bit. And I'm just picking up some of this titanium white. Okay. And what's the colour there? Maybe a bit of this one. Not too much of it. There we go. Titanium white. Just so we're going to have a subtle element, whether it's the moon or the sun in the sky. So we're going to have a boat here. So I want this one right about here. Don't want it too big. I should have done this when the sky was all wet. And straight underneath, we want to, I'm just pushing that down and coming off. I'm going to grab this brush and then just lightly, we'll see everything's dry. You know what, that's fine as it is. I'm going to leave it at that. See, my mistake, add this, you've done your sky, you've done your water, and I dried it to add this middle bit in, but before you dry it to do that, add this moon in. That way you could have just pulled that out like so. I've just dampened the brush a little bit, picked up some of that paint colour, and I'm going to go from side to side just to see how it looks. Keeping it bloody level. And I'm going to use that because this is interactive paint, so it should open that up. Well, not too wet. Carefully does it. See how it's opened that paint up? This is because it's an interactive paint, so I can get away with this. Because I didn't want to have a hard line here, is what you could see. I'm trying to destroy that. I'll wipe the brush. And then we'll just go this way. That's okay. I'm happy with that. Alright, we're going to add a boat here, and the boat is going to have quite a tall mask and a reflection of its mask in the water. So we're going to need a knife, and so let's find ourselves a knife and the colour paint we're going to use for the reflection in the water. So I want it to be the raw sienna dark. I'll bring that over here where I can reach it. Now what I'm going to do, spread it on my palette to the length of my knife here, okay? And we want to try and do this in one shot if we can. So now I'm going to wipe the knife so it's nice and clean. And we want to get enough paint on there. Okay. And the middle of the boat's going to be about here. So that's me marking starting point. And I want to start from the top. Where are we? Can you see? Now keep this edge straight. That's where you want straight, not your knife. And I want it way up here somewhere. Beautiful. That's it. And we want it pretty much down in the water as well. Nice and straight. Good enough. Got a bit missing there. Give it a bit of a rub. There we go. Now I want to get some white paint and I want to build up the center area of the boat. So how to do that, I'm just going to, I've got a small flat here, small flat brush, and we want to build just say the width of the boat, which is somewhere there. This is going to mud up with that paint there at the time being. I'm not worried about that. I'm just mapping it in and go a bit wider than that. Okay. That's better. There. And come about here. That's the boat in the water. So we'll map that in, and if I have to dry it, I'm going to dry it. So it's pretty much looks like a bowl. That's where the boat's on the water there. Keep that nice and straight. Coming up the sides, it's looking at us. Okay. And we'll put the cabiny area up there. Just something like that. Get the paint wet so it comes off your brush. See how it wasn't coming off the brush there? Get it there. So we've got a bowl, and then we've got like a log on top of the bowl, just to give the boat, and then we'll point it up coming at us there. That's just blocked in. That's our boat there. I want to dry this now and detail that boat. Okay, I've dried that up. Now I'm going to finish mapping it in with all this white, and then if I need to, dry it after every coat again. There we go. So in hindsight, that boat in my mind was painted like a bowl. Then the bottom was made flatter, okay? So a bowl with a flat bottom. And then we put the square bit on top, and then we sort of brought this forward. That's pretty much what I painted on there in my mind. And we're going to have a dark line in the boat coming here to create the pretty much the bow of it. That's what I was in my mind with that. Now I'm just grabbing some of the white again with the dirty raw sienna dark, and I'm just like, where are we? I want my boat about here. So now I'm going to create the bow, which is about here. And I'm just going to try and muck around, detail shade this boat in. I think I might have to dry it a bit. Going where I feel I can do with some detailing. Get your brush a little bit damp, Ian. And now we want a nice dark band in the bow of the boat, just to give it that boaty look. There. And there. I've just got some of that cerulean blue mixed with the white there, just to give us some blue reflective colours of the water within that white as well. And then I will grab my little round brush just for some windows in it. Just getting some busy business on the mask there. There's something there. And we'll get some white on here as well, just to break it up from the background there. And then we can whack a frame on this and sign it. Wow, that paint that I put on for the mask is really structured and thick, but I don't mind that. And we can probably a bit of it in there. Just to finish it off, I'm just getting some of the white on this liner brush and just sinking some of this reflection down, keeping them reasonably straight and random, just to sink that boat on the water. That'll do. Now I want to put a signature on here and we'll whack a frame on it. So check out the links in the description below and become a member of my art group page. Support me on my Patreon platform there if you like to. You can also support me by purchasing my art. There's a link there to show you what's available, and they're all done through PayPal. There's a PayPal link there. Okay, now we'll get this signature finished and we'll whack a frame on it and see how this nautical painting looks. I can hear a Mustang in my driveway. I think my friend is here, so I've got to run. So we'll put the frame on here. Yes, that is not too shabby. Beautiful nautical picture. It's quite simple. There's not a lot in it, but there is a lot going on in that painting, okay? We've got a subject of a moon or a sun there. I did stuff up the reflection, but such is art. Learn to put that on before we dry it. That's the reason why you need to watch a tutorial before you start it. Even people like me make mistakes. But overall, that's pretty good, okay? All right, and as I said before, my mate did pull up there. Come on over here, Major. He's called the Major. He's a good friend of mine.
G'day, how you going, everybody?
Yeah, we've known each other for quite a few years, since we were like teenagers, eh?
Long time, yeah.
All right, so if you've liked what I've done here today, tell your friends, but if you don't, you tell everybody, all right? All the best, goodbye, good luck, and good on ya.
God bless Australia.